To say that I'm excited about Halo Infinite is an understatement, guys. Halo was one of those franchises that, for me personally, was one of the first games I ever played on the original Xbox. It came following Medal of Honor, Rising Sun, and Max Payne, and I started playing the Halo games, guys, and really fell in love with it. I fell in love with the competitive nature, the split screen that you could have against your friends and such, and Halo 2 more than anything. And then I got into Halo 3 as well. And obviously, all franchises, and Halo is certainly no different, has peaks and valleys within certain games. Some games do way better than others. Some games are regarded as, some of the best games of all time. Others are regarded as very poor installments in a franchise. But that being said, guys, Halo is one of the founding father games in not only just gaming in general, but even esports. It's a game, guys, in a franchise that has just created such a massive culture. So many big personalities now came from the Halo franchise, and whether that be Ninja, who came from playing Halo professionally to doing Fortnite and absolutely blowing up, to even other guys like Fear itself, and the Ogres and Lunchbox, Roy and Nable. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys, of all the guys in the esports side. Many people started in Halo and moved on to other things at one point or another throughout the course of Halo's history. Now, Halo has not done the best of job in certain areas, guys. When we're talking about the esports side, we can all agree that it hasn't been dealt with very well. Now, obviously, 343, it was their first go around with Halo 5 Guardians, and now they've got they kind of have a little bit of their footing. They kind of understand, okay, what they did right, wrong, what they can do better moving forward. And so now you give them another shot, and now you got Halo Infinite. So here's everything that we want, guys. And when I say we, once again, I'm mainly just going to be kind of voicing my opinion, and I'll be kind of, a lot of these opinions probably you might agree with. If you don't, I would love to hear yours in the comment section below. But number one, guys, Halo Infinite, what would I like to see? I would love to see, similar to Gears 5, I would love to see a semi-open to an open world. Like, even if it's just a semi-open world, I think exploring Halo as much as we can would be something that would be really special. Obviously, guys, when we talk about Halo, it's pretty, it's been, for the most part, pretty linear as far as the story is concerned. So I think now, moving into a semi-open world, just to kind of try it out, or even a full-blown open world, they've kind of teased at that when you look at, just even the trailers that we've seen up to this point of Halo Infinite. And so that kind of gets me really excited. I think being able to explore more Halo and that world would be absolutely incredible. Number two would be, of course, Master Chief, taking that focus away from, in Halo 5 and how they kind of portrayed Master Chief in it, like moving in a direction where it's all about Master Chief. Once again, it's going to be very, very important in my opinion, and really kind of having him take the throne once again as the Spartan, as the Master Chief, and basing this entire story around him so that he can kind of take us into the next generation of consoles and such, I think is going to be very important moving forward. So Master Chief, as far as the story is concerned, absolutely is that. Number three would be, guys, as far as the story is concerned, another thing big for me, other than like open worlds or even just a semi-open world, having the Flood come back. I would love to see the Flood come back like in Halo 3. That was something that was really cool, that I absolutely loved the Flood. That was one of my favorite aspects of the Halo universe, was the Flood. I don't really know what it was about it. I just really liked the concept of it, or just the evolution of Halo, like adding new creatures or adding new aliens, adding, new species in this world that you're kind of coming in contact with, I think was really important, because at times it felt kind of like it kind of got a little bit stale, some aspects of the story. So I think like just adding variety to the creatures that you're going up against, to the weapons that you're utilizing, is going to be really important. The next thing, guys, I think that's really important is like having a number of co-op modes. And I think that Gears of War and Halo and games that are Xbox exclusives that are only on Xbox, I think that they have to do this. You have to have a full package, more and more reasons for people to come and play these games. And I think that Halo's got a real opportunity with Halo Infinite to be a real juggernaut of a game, because I think that once it comes out, you're going to have a lot of big time personalities trying the game out, at least seeing what it's all about, seeing how good it is. And if they really hit on everything, they could have something really big on their hands, that being 343. Now, that being said, though, what I'll say, guys, is about the co-op modes is having, just like I said, more and more ways that you can connect with this franchise. So we talked about the semi-open world to the open world. Then you have, co-op modes, ways that you can connect. A Forge mode would be huge, guys. I think Forge mode would be a massive way in which we can, our creativity, kind of like a Minecraft almost. You're like building worlds here, and with updated graphics in Halo. I think that Forge mode here would be absolutely great. Firefight, I would love to see Firefight come back. That was a lot of fun to play with your friends. Kind of reminds me of Horde mode in Gears of War, but a little bit more like bright and colorful, and, obviously was a lot of fun to play with your friends. I remember playing it a lot with Halo Reach, and so a Firefight mode I think would be great as well. Having other co-op modes, whether those are new modes, I always like the evolution of some of these games. Seeing like, the continued, evolution, like I said, of some of these franchises, I think are really important to see them, progress forward. And especially with how much Halo 5 was such a step in the wrong direction for the franchise from a perspective of the fan base, from, an esports perspective. It's very important that they hit this in a very, in a major way, guys. It's got to be knocked out of the park. And so I think having a lot of different ways you can connect with this franchise is going to be really important in Halo Infinite. Now, as far as the multiplayer is concerned, guys, we could talk about this for a very long time. I know a lot of people are of the mindset of no longer having sprint. They don't want to have the ability to sprint and such. Guys, I just think it's unrealistic, the not having sprint. I mean, in the other games, when you play those now, the movement was so slow, and it was my one thing I didn't like about the older Halo games. But once they incorporated sprint into the games, sure, it kind of hurt. I think that there were problems with some of those games, but I don't think that necessarily the problem was sprint. It was just people kind of blamed that, but when it was actually other things. So in my opinion, absolutely having sprint. I mean, you got to have it, guys. It's way more realistic. And even though Halo as a whole isn't a realistic game, I think it's more, fast paced. It makes makes the action a lot more exciting. Whether you're talking from watching from a spectator perspective of the esports side, or if you're talking about just playing it yourself, I think that's really important. I think having new weapons, like I said, having different ways you can customize different, some of your weapons, or whether that be skins or your characters and such, or having ways that you can customize, but not necessarily microtransactions. I'm talking, guys, more like things that you can earn. For me, it's all about earning stuff. I mean, I'll never forget in Halo Reach, they had, when you got to Inheritor, you had this awesome mask that had like a skull in it, and that was like something to really work hard for. It was like a real grind to get there. And so what I'm getting at is those are the things that I think that a lot of us want. Something that's like really grindy, but keeps us coming back, something that's really exciting. And Halo Reach was one of my favorite Halo games, guys. I absolutely loved Halo Reach. I thought it was really well done from a multitude of perspectives. Unfortunately, obviously, the story was a little bit different, but I thought that was still really cool. It was kind of like a side story to Halo. And that being said, though, all in all, guys, adding some new multiplayer modes I think is really important as well. Adding some new multiplayer modes, like I said, co-op modes, having, Forge mode, and, having a semi-open world to a full-blown open world setting. I think those are things, guys, that would keep us coming back over and over again. And I think that if you have a balance, I think that the esports side of things at least should have, one game mode. I mean, maybe a couple, but I think that with Halo, guys, I mean, a lot of it, I feel like you need to go back to the roots of Halo. And in the beginning, obviously, they had a few different game modes that you would play. Slayer, you would have the Capture the Flag, which were really great. But I think that what it is nowadays in esports, guys, that makes games start to grow in a major way is having simplicity, having things that the spectator can understand very easily. Like Slayer, it's very easy to understand, similar like CSGO or Search and Destroy in Call of Duty or Execution in Gears of War. Simple concepts that and having, like, of course, the announcers and, all of that explain the game mode to a new audience, because it's almost like you're almost like restarting this Halo franchise with Halo Infinite. Even though it's been going on for a long time, they're almost like restarting things. So I think it's really important that everything needs to be done in a proper way, in my opinion, from 343. They know that they did a lot wrong with of course, Halo 5. But now with Halo Infinite, they've kind of got some footing now, and now I think anytime that there's a problem, anytime that there's something that the fan base really wants, they get on those things and they make those things happen as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so that, it's time to keep moving forward here. Building this franchise in a major way, I think this is a staple of gaming, and it's very important that I think it comes back in a big way, guys. So those all in all are like the major things that I want to see moving forward. I'm not going to really get into like the story, what I want to see from the story, because I want them to surprise me with those things. But let me know what you guys want to see in Halo Infinite. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Let's have a real conversation about it. And for more Halo Infinite content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.